morning on Denver 7. Our state ranks in the top 10 nationally for ozone pollution, and now you can do your part.
August is typically the highest ozone month for the state of Colorado.
The program kicking off tomorrow that will also help your monthly budget. A scary scene in Kentucky this morning as flooding continues to tear through the western part of the state. How one woman was saved by her grandson. And while the Broncos aren't on the practice field today, fans still showed up and out this weekend.
We have a championship potential season, right?
What's on deck once the new team puts on their uniforms to play this week? Thanks for starting your Sunday with Denver 7 News. I'm Jessica Crawford.
And I'm Katie LaSalle. Now here's some headlines we're following for you this morning.
It's been a pretty dry weekend in Denver, but yesterday's storms are still causing problems near Aspen this morning. You can see a line of cars trying to travel on Highway 133 northbound yesterday. They had to come to a full stop because of a mudslide. And as of 10 o'clock last night, CDOT says Highway 133 will have alternating traffic between Avalanche Creek Road and Red Dog Road until further notice while that cleanup continues.
The police chief of Newcastle, Colorado, a town near Glenwood Springs, is now facing criminal charges. Chief Anthony Pagney was arrested on suspicion of felony menacing, which means Pagney allegedly scared people into thinking they were going to be physically hurt by him, along with a harassment charge and prohibited use of weapons. In a statement, the town administrator says Chief Pagney has been placed on administrative leave while this incident is being investigated.
Today's the last day of the Arapahoe County Fair. It started back in 1906. It's your classic fair. It has carnival rides, food, and much more. Today's events include a dog show, mutton bustin', and a potato peeling contest. Things kick off at noon and tickets are $20.
It'll be a nice morning and afternoon across the metro area, but it will be hot once again today. Daytime highs will reach the low 90s. A little more cloud coverage, moisture in the atmosphere, relative humidity at 53% right now, with temperatures already in the low 70s downtown and out to the airport. So with that increased moisture, we will see a better possibility of a few late day thunderstorms here across the metro area and plains. Temperatures outside were in the 60s, Fort Collins and Greeley, 40s and 50s into the mountains. So nice and mild if you're getting ready to have breakfast or spend any time in and around the metro area. In terms of our temperatures outside, 9 o'clock, 78 degrees, 87 by 11, and daytime highs will be back to the low 90s. Denver up through Greeley, mid 90s up near Sterling, 70s and 80s into the high country. We did see flash flood watches and a warning go into effect yesterday with some pockets of heavy rainfall. Once again, we could be seeing that into the high country and a chance for a few storms across the plains. More on the big heat that's about to build as we start the month of August, still to come.
Well, it might be a clear day across the metro, but Denver is actually the 7th most polluted city for ozone in the country. That's according to the American Lung Association. But there is a way that you can help reduce carbon emissions and even help your gas budget breathe a little. Denver 7's Megan Lopez is live with us now to explain how this all starts tomorrow. Megan?
Yeah, that's right, Jessica. It is going to be free rides on all RTD buses and trains throughout the month of August, so you're not going to really have to pay anything in order to buy one of these trains or buses. It's known as the Zero Fare Better Air Initiative. There's two reasons for it. The first is to reduce ozone and to improve air quality. The second is to encourage people to start taking public transit again and to get out of their cars. Ridership has been on a decline since the pandemic. Now, this free fare comes as state lawmakers, they passed a bill this year to cover most of the tab for the free rider programs during high ozone periods with the grant program, those high ozone periods typically during the summer. We spoke with RTD about how they're hoping to change people's commuting habits.
We're hoping that it encourages people to develop patterns, so they get used to taking the train or taking the bus, and it gets developed into their routine. So when August 31st ends and we go back to fares, people will have already developed that pattern and expectation of how to ride.
So this all comes as an independent board announced this week that it believes Colorado will fall short of EPA requirements to lower toxic air pollution by 2024. Those standards were set in 2015. However, the board did say that the state is expected to meet the more relaxed goals that were set in 2008 by 2027. So obviously this free RTD bus and train is not going to solve all of the state's air quality problems, but this is going to be a component in it, and RTD is hoping that more people will take advantage of free rides and get on one of these trains or buses. I'm live. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
Megan, thank you. RTD is overhauling its bus network. The agency decided to put focus on the inner city instead of the suburbs. The plan will be carried out over the next 5 years, and the project is designed to increase ridership and address pandemic-related travel patterns.
And take a look at this, some scary video. Another state of emergency is declared in California after another wildfire sparked. This is the McKinney fire near the Oregon border. It's in the Klamath National Forest and has already burned 30,000 acres in less than 24 hours. This fire is currently 0% contained.
President Joe Biden is back in isolation this morning after testing positive for COVID once again yesterday. The positive result was just 3 days after he was cleared to exit his initial quarantine. This latest positive test result is considered a rebound case, which refers to a relapse of COVID-19. Some patients deal with this after taking Paxlovid. That's an antiviral that's given to those with mild to moderate symptoms who are considered high risk for severe illness.
Hey folks, Joe Biden here. Tested positive this morning. Going to be working from home for the next couple of days. And I'm feeling fine. Everything's good. But Command and I got a lot of work to do.
Biden's doctor says in a memo that he continues to do quite well. And while in isolation, Biden signed a disaster declaration for Kentucky as extreme flooding is destroying the eastern part of the state.
And you can see some of that flooding here on your screen now. The water is just so high, people can barely keep their heads above it. Governor Andy Beshear says the loss of life now stands at 25, and that figure could still grow. Crews in Kentucky are still in search and rescue mode, including one man who saved his grandma from her flooding home. It took a few people to get 98-year-old May out to safety. There she is there. There's more rain expected to hit the area today.
Shifting gears to Bronco country now. The team may have today off, but there was a sea of blue and orange at the UC Health Training Center this weekend as fans lined up to see the Broncos in action.
It was such an exciting day yesterday, and some arrived as early as midnight the night before to be first in line. The gates opened at 9 a.m. for the NFL's second back-together Saturday training camp. Some eager Broncos fans scooped up the 5,000 free tickets available for the event in just under 10 minutes, and fans say having a new quarterback like Russell Wilson and a new coaching staff will turn things around for the team.
You feel that hype to where Peyton Manning was here, you know. Now that's back.
I hope we're going to get the Super Bowl, get to the Super Bowl and just win the Super Bowl. So one more time, like in 2015.
And whether this dream ends up becoming reality, no doubt Broncos fans will have our teams back, win or lose.
Our Broncos coverage doesn't end here. Nick, Lionel, and Troy will have much more coming up later in sports, and you can visit the website denverchannel.com for more in-depth coverage. One Lodo bridge is out of commission, and that has residents in the area hoping for a fix.
We are tired of just waiting for them to fix it.
We're taking a closer look at the $250,000 price tag that it could take to repair this.
And a little later, Denver is on track to break the record of the most RV fires in the metro. The latest explosion that has fire investigators still asking questions this morning.